Hello everybody, it's Nathan, and today I would like to talk about the ending of My Hero Academia Season 5, specifically the My Villian Academia arc. In my opinion, they destroyed that arc, in a bad way. I watched all the episodes, in one go, at least for the My Villian Academia portion. I'm glad I did that because how they messed with the scenes itself and the pacing in some of the episodes are good, but there are also some aspects of it that are bad. Especially the Toga's story there was absolutely murdered in that section. It's because you can tell they were trying to stitch moments from that portion of the manga arc together to try to make it more fast paced. That wouldn't be a bad thing normally if it wasn't so obvious that they were doing that. I forget the exact total of the chapters of the My Villian Academia arc in the manga, but I know for a fact it's not 5 episodes long. It is at least 12. With the content, they front load a lot of it at the beginning in the manga, and then you get more backstory throughout the whole story, that whole entire arc. What I am mostly weirded out by, they put as much effort as they would if, let's say, this is that's gonna be probably a bad example, but I'm gonna say this again. This is feels more like a movie adaptation of a story arc. It's fast paced, one scene after another. If you've seen Mugen Train, the Demon Slayer Mugen Train, you know what it feels like. But at least in Demon Slayer, they actually was able to tell a competent story. But everything about this My Villian Academia arc in the anime, in the My Hero Academia anime, it was just so off. If they wanted to give a movie theater feel with how fast they were telling the story, at least don't cut the framework of the episodes itself. Don't cut it so it feels like it takes you out of the experience. Yeah, it's kind of a weird thing. It's do you want to experience the story? But when they cut the story in a weird way, it throws you out of it. It's just so weird how they did that. And what else? They skipped Spinner's story arc completely in there, character arc. They even took out the mansion scene out of the first episode. That was in the first chapter. Yeah, because Spinner was actually one of the most decent characters during that arc, but yet you don't understand in the anime because they cut that completely out. But also the lead into the arc, which was smooth in the manga, is basically that one episode where All Might is taking Todoroki and Bakugo to the back after they finished the supplemental training, so they actually got their badge. That whole entire scene with snow and everything, that is the scene that's supposed to lead into My Villian Academia, but we didn't get that. And also the pure fact that in the whole entire how they moved around the episodes in the anime just feels disingenuous, kind of. It's something happens with Shigaraki. Most likely Shigaraki destroyed a town. You see Shigaraki getting experimented on with a different hair color. That all is wrong because technically they're right, but how they moved it around is My Villian Academia is supposed to be before the Endeavor Agency arc. It's did it really matter so much for this upcoming movie that they needed to butcher the layout of season 5? I always say that with what season 5 did was extend the parts that didn't need to be extended and the parts that were needed to be extended. they didn't even care. They basically said, let's make a second movie this year. Yeah, that's basically it. If you look at My Villian Academia as a movie, it's decent. There's some problems when you look at it like that, but it is at least more like, if you put your mind frame of how fast-paced a movie's supposed to be and how stuff you can really cover within the time slot of a movie, makes a whole lot of sense. But since it was actually episodes of the anime, it's just like, this is dirty. They downright did. Studio Bones barely cared about My Villian Academia. Of course, I'm not talking about the animators. I'm talking about the people up top, like the screenwriters and stuff like that. Not even my screenwriters. Whoever's up top at the My Hero Academia the production community, that they were the ones that decided to mess around season 5 completely. And it's like, even while watching it all in one go, you don't get the magic that some of the scenes had. The politician, that was an actual decent part of the story arc. But then again, I have to also state how I read My Villian Academia. It was the pure fact that one of my family members were in the hospital and I needed something to get my mind off of dealing with all of that, so I was still in the middle of catching up on the story, and it's like, it was a good story. It was able to distract me from the world, the manga version. But with the anime, it's like, it's a laughingstock, really. I hope I'm not the only one who thinks that. Of course, anime onlys don't even know. Even I have a feeling that even some anime onlys actually picked up that this was poorly paced overall. And is it really worth all the messing up they did? Because they wanted to put the episode 18, which is the beach episode that's supposed to tie into the movie, before the movie actually aired in Japan. You could have had that episode be one of the last of the season. That would be perfectly good. But no. I'm not the one in charge of the production committee. I'm not even on the production committee. I'm nowhere near. I have no idea what decision they made or anything. But that beach episode is funny. Mostly because of how, like, it was serious comedy. And then they tried to lead into the movie at the very end. Why? Of course, like I said before, the first movie had like a filler-ish episode, but they at least said, we're going to stop this story here, and we're going to tell a story in the past, but this story is important. See, at least they did that to the first movie. The first movie and the second movie is canon. Well, it's like, why? It like confuses me. It's like, then you're gonna say it's better than getting pure filler. Even like shows like, let's say, Boruto, I like the filler in there because they can like change the story just a tiny little bit so characters have progression. Mostly because in the Boruto manga, none of the side characters have any like noteworthy achievements. So the anime can actually build on that. Well, why when My Hero Academia is trying to condense a whole story arc very oddly, it's like, just have that section of the story, split it out, and like add filler to like the Endeavor Agency section of the story. That would make a whole lot more sense. And then you can get like a full adaptation of My Villian Academia. It's like a 12 episode side story or something like that. Yes, like, also another thing with season 5 that was weird, they lifted content directly out of the manga spinoff, Vigilantes. It's like, why? You're just devaluating Vigilantes a bit. They didn't show the whole arc. that was lifted, but they showed bits and pieces of that arc. It's like, does there need to be a point in even showing this if we have no clue if Vigilantes is ever getting an anime adaptation? I would love Vigilantes to get an anime adaptation. The likelihood of it is like the main series has to catch up to the point where they cannot make any more seasons, and then they was like, oh, we have this side story we could animate. That's the only way I can think of them actually wanting to animate Vigilantes, when they absolutely run out of content in the main series to adapt. It's like, and the pure fact they led from the Shirakumo stuff, which is supposed to take place after the Endeavor Agency arc, but before the war. Why did they put that to lead into My Villian Academia? Of course, the story goes Class A versus Class B training, where Deku unlocks Black Whip, and then you fast forward just a tiny bit to New Year's, like the New Year's holiday season, and then the story in itself rewinds back to like October, like a random day in October, and then you go through all of My Villian Academia, and then at the end of My Villian Academia, it kind of like hints at stuff to come, and then you go back as like a calm before the storm type of thing with the Endeavor Agency arc. How is it supposed to be the calm versus the storm if they rearranged that completely? I would have been perfectly fine if they took the Shirakumo episode and they put that, like, say you have, of course we have to have a filler opening to every season. Let's say season 6. You have the opening, which is filler, pure filler, which I'm okay with that. And then you lead into the Shirakumo, like Aizawa and President Mike going to Tartarus. That would be good because like it's leading you into the war even more, and then you cut back to the end credit scene where everyone is going to war, basically what they showed during the end credits of season 5. They should have done that, and then like, that would just give the team over at Bones to actually give at least more time to the My Villian Academia story arc if they did it like that. But no, they didn't. I still suggest reading the manga. Even though some elements of the anime, or at least in previous seasons, were really good. Because I remember I started reading the manga about the time season 3 came out. Like halfway through about episode 7 of season 3. I was impatient. I wanted to know what happened next. So I read a bit of it, then waited until season 3 wrapped up before I actually read the manga. It's just, really? Do you really need to mess up a really good adaptation like the way they did? Due to how bad season 5 was, how do we know if season 6 is going to be even better? Of course, we have the war, everything happening in the war, and it's like, if you mess up so badly on one of the seasons, the rest of the seasons are like up in the air if it's going to be good or not. Just watch them show the middle of the war before the end of the war. So the last bit of the war before they show the middle of the war. Let's see how they mess up season 6, because that would be an interesting train wreck if that actually happens. I think I've said everything on my mind today. Hope you guys enjoy this video. Like, comment, and subscribe. This is Nathan signing out. Everyone, have a great day.